guys, welcome back to This Old Jalopy and Project Frankenwagon. Now in the last episode I promised you that I was going to go on a test drive, and that was going to be this episode. So then you're probably wondering, why is it up on jack stands and the wheels are off of it again? Well, I have something to confess, and that was I drove to a gas station. It's only like a quarter of a mile away from here, and I wasn't filming. And when I got there, the little tiny bit of clearance I thought I had between the tire and the rear fender was gone, and I was burning up the tires. Like I was melting the rubber off the tires, and you'll see a picture on the screen now of that. The suspension must have settled a little bit. You know, I started thinking about it, I'm like, well, yeah, that makes sense because it was up on jack stands, and the coil springs are at full droop for, you know, several months. So let me show you what I have and what I'm going to install today, right now. And then as soon as I install that, then we're going to go for the test drive. Okay, this here is a 3-inch lift kit for Miatas. Yeah, 3 inches. It's the Paco Sports 3-inch lift kit. I think you can only get it from flyingmiata.com. And 3 inches. I'm going to install this. Now you're probably saying to yourself, man, don't lift it 3 inches. That's way too much. 3 inches is a lot. But there's something you should know, and something I shouldn't have been hiding from you in the last episode. And knowing this will help make sense, you know, as to why 3 inches is required. Okay, I know it's a little dark in here, but hopefully you can see these. These are little rubber spacers that go in the coil spring, and they're supposed to add 1 inch to the rear, and in the front they're adding 1.5 inches supposedly. So I'm going to knock those things out, get those out of there, because that's trashy. I don't need that on my project. All I was doing was looking for something that would be quick and easy and help me get on the road so I can go for, you know, around the block a couple times. And I couldn't even do that, so now I'm gonna just get those things out of there. And so subtract that inch, you know, now to 3 inches makes a little more sense, because even with the smaller tires it was hitting the fender right here, and the bigger tires I want to put on, you know, that's another 1/2 inch. So it all adds up, I think. And then of course you can add, you know, lowering springs to customize it, and maybe one day in the budget I'll have the funds for adjustable coil overs or something. So let's get those out of there, and then we'll start installing the 3-inch lift kit. Okay, I was getting them out and this happened. That might require stitches. Okay.
All right?
Now stand aside, worthy adversary.
'Tis but a scratch.
A scratch?
Okay, I'm back. I didn't need stitches, thankfully. And I got these fucking things. These were the twist-in style. They were in the front. Cool. Alright, back to work. Okay, I got the first one done. This is it right here. It bolts. That's where this used to bolt to, was in that hole. This piece of metal instead bolts there. This bolts to that. You can see how it's now 3 inches separated. So I think it's a pretty little clever engineering, you know, solution. Whoever came up with that idea, not so bad, you know. So I got the first one done, and mostly done. I gotta reconnect everything, and then on to the other 3, and then I'll be done. One down, 3 to go. Okay, I'm working on the front here, and I'm gonna have to get new ball joints because, well, it's broken as you can see, but I also broke the bolt. It just sheared right into two. And that bolt also goes through this hole here, that hole in the bracket there. So I'll have to order new ones, and while those are coming in, I started working on the other side here. And I'm just about to get started working on getting this castle nut off. Let me show you something here. So, can you see the breaker bar going on to the castle nut there? And I want to show you guys a trick that I learned when I was working on Jeeps, and that was to use the power of the steering. You know, there's a lot of torque in the steering, you'd be surprised, even with the engine off. So I'm gonna slide it back here, and I hang it up on this sheet metal here, and I'm gonna see what happens when I turn the steering wheel the other way. I have a feeling that it's just gonna torque that nut right off for me. So I'll just turn the steering wheel this way, and it'll come right off. So hopefully it works. Let's find out. So that actually worked perfectly. Now I should be able to just zip it off here. The bolt is frozen to the metal sleeve inside of the shock bushing. I can turn it with the breaker bar, but that's just because the sleeve is turning inside the bushing, and I need to. Therefore, it's stuck inside this metal cage. And I have one leading idea, and that is to take this. We'll take a better nut, one that's not all jacked up from being hammered on, and weld it right here, and that'll allow me to break it loose. Use a breaker bar on the other side of the bolt, and when I turn it, it'll actually go that way instead of just spin freely in there. Whew. Else, if that doesn't work, I'm gonna have to cut the shock right there and get new shocks. This has been a battle. This has been maybe the biggest battle of my life against an inanimate object. Okay, I got the breaker bar on there. And the way I see it, there's, only a few possibilities. Either the bolt will break loose of the sleeve that it's seized to, or my tool will break, which is very possible. Or the bolt itself will break, the head will break off the bolt, very possible. Or the metal will start to bend where it's welded to the nut. So, very exciting. Let's see what happens. Well, yeah, the metal is bending. Fuck. That's the exact opposite of what I was hoping. Yeah, the metal is bending. Alright, screw it. Alright. Well, how about that? So a significant amount of time has passed since I think I was last recording myself. I got it all done though and put together. It was a real battle, it was a real grind. Alright, this is, I had just dropped it on the floor, and you know, those springs were at full droop for 2 weeks. I bet they gotta settle again, just like they did last time. So we're gonna come back tomorrow morning, or tomorrow afternoon, and see if it's changed at all. But right now I want to say that that's not looking too terrible. Needs a little bit of an altitude adjustment. I'll definitely have to get an alignment for sure. Have to get an alignment. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of toe in on the front. You can just tell. Like, you know it's bad when you can tell just by looking at it. Alright guys, I did it. I drove it over here to a local park and it made it. That was freaking cool. This thing is cool. The rear suspension did settle like another inch or two. It's now a lot more level. So I think it's tolerable for now, but still gotta come down at least an inch. And I don't know if it's too dark for you guys to see, but when the suspension was changed, the tire went in a little bit, the wheel went inward. So now there's a ton of clearance. Now there's way too much. So cool though. At least it's not rubbing. That's pretty cool. Half Miata, half Volkswagen. Alright guys, well I'm gonna drive it home before it gets any darker because I don't have taillights. This is a pretty big point in this build, you know? I'm moving to Portland. So that's where the build will pick up again. Is in a new garage, hopefully one that's a little brighter. And I think when I get to Portland, I'm going to find a mechanic who can help me a little more with the suspension, get it properly aligned, not just roughly aligned. I did a very rough alignment, and it needs work for sure. But hey, it's drivable. I think I'll go like a little faster each time I drive it until I get confident enough to get out on the roads. And as soon as I get the tail lights on there, I think it'll be totally roadworthy. There's still no windshield wipers. I still have a lot of work to do, especially in the back with the sheet metal. Still more welding to do with the sheet metal. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking now. And okay, one more thing though. I want to say sorry that this video took so long to get out there. I promised you a test drive, and then it was like a month later. But I'm packing up and getting ready to move. Okay. See you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.